Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater, and this is the breakdown of the Orville Season 2, Episode 1, Jalosia. An episode that I don't really feel would or should qualify as a Season 2 premiere. Now, I did do a quick review of the video of the episode, and that's going to be linked below over on $3 Reviews, which is my review channel. Here, I want to do more of a longer kind of in-depth take on the episode, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and just some of the things that I noticed. So first things first, let's jump into the plot of the episode, because this ultimately is the absolute worst thing about this particular episode. It was funny, but what was the point? And I think a lot of people out there might try to answer, well, it was about the characters, which is great. I love the characters. I'm glad to see them return. But at the same time, this is also an episode that was from season 1 that they cut from last year, and they made it its season 2 premiere. And I think that is going to turn off a number of new people that might tune in tonight. Those who don't know the characters are going to get a lot of nuance with this particular episode, and nothing that I would argue is anything really to do with Star Trek or Star Trek-like themes or ideas. This whole episode is basically just relationship central, which is like a filler episode. So let's jump into it. This is the breakdown. All right, so the episode starts off with Ed drinking alone at a bar. He's, drowning his sorrows in liquor. Why? Because Kelly doesn't want him. She told him they can't be together, and he is upset. He's not happy. It makes sense. He's human. He's man. I get it. Alara joins him, also complaining about not being able to find a mate. The two kind of share this moment where you kind of think maybe they're going to get together, right? Maybe that's going to be a thing. But no, ultimately, Border shows up and says, hey, guys, I got to go to my home planet, Mocklin, because you know how my species only pees once a year? Well, homie got to go, and homie got to go now. So let's change course so I can go pee off a cliff and you all can watch me do it for my Chalosia ceremony. Yeah, serious. From there, Ed tells Kelly, hey, I love you. Right? He's like, I love you. I adore you. I want to be with you. She's like, told you it's not going to work. It can't work. It's never going to be able to work in this particular place. He says that the choice to love should transcend timing. Anything else is cowardice, which I did feel was a pretty good line, mostly because it's Ed putting his heart and his soul out there, which I really enjoyed. You also had a new crew member. I don't know how long she's going to be around, but the dark matter cartographer, Dr. Tyler, or Lieutenant Tyler, sorry. And of course, Gordy meets her. Gordo's just like, hey, let's go. I see you like consoles. I like consoles too. And then he has trouble with her as well. So he's on this mission to try to find out more information by asking Alara, like, hey, you've read her personnel file. Does she have a boyfriend? And then he doesn't get the information that he wants. So he goes to Lee and he's like, hey, you know what it's like to hook up with the ladies. I need help with this. And so they give him a jacket full of zippers, send him into a simulation routine, trying to pick up a chick at a bar who clearly doesn't want to be with any guy there. And then thinks that he's ready to go and hit on the doctor. Right. Doesn't work. He doesn't do it. He just doesn't do it. Then, of course, you've got the whole situation with Dr. Finn and Isaac. Dr. Finn's eldest son, Marcus, is hanging out with this troublemaker named James. They hack a food synthesizer in order to replicate a bottle of vodka, get caught drinking the vodka, and then his parents blame Marcus for being the bad influence when we, the audience, know already how things are, but then they want to get Marcus kicked out of his class, and then Dr. Finn and Isaac have to kind of go in there and save the day. And it's, again, kind of building to this relationship between Isaac and Claire. And it's one of those things where you're like, okay, he keeps reminding you that he is an artificial life form. So he is not going to be the kind of person who is going to be in this kind of relationship. He's literally a program in a body. Right. And I have a feeling setting this up is going to be one of those things in regards to the future of the character, but they are trying to put them together as a couple. She even goes as far as to say that she loves him, which I thought was really interesting. And it wasn't any kind of like platonic love. I'm pretty sure that's straight up like, do you want to be my children's father? And him already spending enough time with them from an anthropological perspective probably would be okay with it. So It's just again, that's their story, and he finds out that the boy that James hacked into the school system to change his report card, therefore showing his parents that he gets straight A's when he doesn't, and it kind of absolves Marcus of the accusation, leaving the other two parents highly embarrassed. Of course, there's Kelly's new beau, the school teacher, Cassius, right? Or Cassius, or Cassius. That's what it is, because I keep going back and forth on the name of this guy. He seems like a nice enough guy. Him and Ed have a moment after he gets into a fight with Kelly, tells her to calm down. She gets upset. This, of course, is coming after the fact that Ed did a flyby in a shuttle, watching them making out. He gets caught, goes into stealth mode. Kelly still knows what's going on, but decides to kind of play it cool until she has a chance to talk to him. And Ed just can't seem to let go of what's happening, right? He just can't seem to let go of everything that he's experiencing, of every emotion that he's feeling. And I get that. I understand that. I do get that. This is one of the things where it's like obviously playing off of the last season where the two people are very much in love with each other. They're very much wanting to be together. They're very much wanting this to work, but ultimately it can't given the position that they find themselves in. And Kelly, well, she's going to move on, and Ed is, just like before, Ed had a hard time. Unless it was Charlize Theron popping up from the last season. But then at the end of this episode, Dr. Tyler, after Gordon doesn't even remotely talk to her, just kind of skips by her, she ends up going and basically kind of laying the first moves on trying to meet Ed. And Ed is probably going to be receptive to that because, hey, here's this smoking hot dark matter cartographer hitting on the captain. He's lonely. He's been boozing. He's pining after his ex. She's going to come in and, take the D train to Bone Town, if you know what I'm saying, right? And it's not going to work out well. Basically, it's about it. And I think that's pretty much like, oh no, there's the other story too. There's so much happening in this episode. Alara gets set up by Bortus with Dan, big bubblehead Dan, he is clingy as hell. This dude, you can tell why he is single. It makes a lot of sense why he's single. But she, I think for the most part, wants to try to give it a go. She wants to try to maybe see if there's something there, something behind the veil that she hasn't quite seen yet. And it doesn't really work out too well for her necessarily, because he writes her this poem, and the poem is really, as she puts it, surfacey, although Gordon ends up liking it down the road and tells Dan he should write a book on it. The episode in and of itself is not the best. Right. It's really not the best of the episodes they could have put forward. It's such a filler episode. I think that's why I'm so perturbed at it, is that it's just kind of a filler episode. Okay, so here are some things that I noticed with the episode. One, there's a continuity error when Ed and Kelly are first talking and Ed is professing his love to her, which again felt so freaking out of place. I get it in the context of last season, but Kelly's hair is down in one shot, and then in the reverse shot, her hair is behind her ear, and they use it a couple times. Obviously, this is just something that happened. It's not meant to be done on purpose, but I just noticed it as a continuity error. Another thing, too, is Torpa, the child that they had, the female, is now a prepubescent teen. Right? How much time has passed between season 1 is now? When they go to the Jaloja ceremony, I can't believe I'm getting that wrong. They show the child. Now the child has grown into this like young adult. They haven't talked about the aging process of the Moclan. And I think that's going to be something that might be brought up later on, but that was just kind of weird that they decided if this episode takes place not long after the events of the first season, considering that it is a first season episode that was shot, the baby is a lot bigger now. So that's something that I noticed, considering the fact that they start the episode off by saying, when Bortus says, I have to go to Moclan, Ed says, it's not a baby thing, is it? Right. So insinuating that it's still a baby, that the baby would still be a baby. The baby is not a baby. The baby is like 9 or 10, if not 11 years old. Where's that time jump? Where did that happen? So I'd like to get more explanation on that, more exposition on that. We never really got that. Trying to think, like, the scene with Lee trying to teach Gordon how to flirt was kind of funny, considering that they dealt with different types of difficulty levels. The first woman, he says like, oh, hey, my name is Gordon. And she's like, hey, you want to go back to my place? And he's like, that seems easy. Then they up it to level 8. and level 8 as the woman, and she's just lost her boyfriend. She doesn't want to date anybody. But I did like the line though. I did enjoy the line. What if what's levels 9 and levels 10? Oh, levels 9 is she's married. Number 10 is she's married and has a gun. So I thought that was pretty funny, like as far as the dating levels trying to hit on people. Well, I will say that one of the lines I enjoyed quite a bit of the episode was in the first interaction with Ed and Kelly, when Ed is talking and he's professing his love. She says she basically says that these things, it cannot happen, that it's a choice, that they cannot be together. It just is not going to work. And he basically says the choice to love should transcend timing. Anything else is cowardice, which I did feel was probably the most Star Trek-esque line in the entire episode. I felt that ultimately, looking at the idea behind what Ed is trying to say there made sense, from just like hey, let's throw caution to the wind, screw the rules. I love you. You clearly love me. Let's be together. Let's make this work. And she's just not doing it. She's just not what she's being cowardly is effectively what he's saying. And I think deep down she knows that. That was something I noticed too, is she immediately didn't call out Ed when she saw that he was watching them. She immediately didn't respond with that. So ultimately, the way I view it is she still very much loves him. And that would have been something, but that's a hard thing to get around. That's a trust issue, right? But when she brought up to Cassius later on, and she was like, "What, you've never done a drive-by?" And he's like, I've done like one or two, but I've done like one or two. It just like, okay, I get the joke, but it's also you're on a spaceship, and you get a shuttle and you fly by your partner's room. That's, there's one of those things where it's like, really, you're gonna take a Union shuttle and you're gonna fly it around. I could understand the captain having the rights to do that, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Cassius did it on a planet or something like that. But there was a good interaction with him and Ed in regards to like how he had a failed marriage because of his career, how he wanted the career really bad, and that kind of drove a spike between them. And I do think that's a little bit of juxtaposition between Ed and between Kelly. Ed was focusing on his career. He was never home. So she turned to Cerulean, and ended up hooking up with him, mostly because, of the pheromone he put out. But still, she was also looking for it because Ed was never around. And this is kind of the guy she's with now is very much not that person. He's not going down that career path anymore. So it's one of those things where you can kind of see what's going to happen like with it. He might get a job offer or get something that he wants for his career because he says he loves her. She basically said she loves him, and that's going to cause some rift down the road. But I do think he's a good character, so I am curious to see what's going to happen with it after that. Okay, so my final thoughts on the episode, because I kind of ran through a fair amount of it. I've just run through a lot of the episode. There's so much going on here that it was a serviceable season 1 episode, like let's say sandwiched in the back half of the season or like the back quarter of the season, after we've already established the characters, gotten the emotional connection to these characters, and wanted to see them succeed. I feel that ultimately the episode kind of failed to fire on all or any of its cylinders wholly, because it was not an episode that had a direct beginning, middle, and end. It was a series of scenes collected together as a way to just, kind of push the characters along, but not the story. And I understand that it's been a year and they want to probably ease people into it. But I still found myself halfway through going, "Ooh, this is not a good episode. This is not their best. This is not their best at all." And I would really hope that in the next one they've gone back to the writers' room. They've really kind of channeled it together, and they're going to tell us not only a compelling social story, but something that's going to be used to propel the characters along with their journey as well, and not just kind of have them haphazardly running around the ship, all while killing time while waiting for Bortus to take a piss off a cliff. It's just one of those things where I just kind of felt, it did not live up to the type of quality that I came to expect from the first season. But I leave it to you guys. If you saw the whole episode and you made it through the breakdown, what are your thoughts? What are your opinions on it? How do you feel the episode played out? Do you feel that it was good, that it was bad, that it was mediocre? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. I'm curious to know. Anyway, if you guys like this type of breakdown, that's not just a traditional quick review, let me know down in the comment section. Again, you can go find just a regular review of it if you just want to catch that over on 3-Buck Reviews, which the link for that will be in the video description. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This has been 3-Buck Theater. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day. And as much as I complained about the episode, I'm glad the Orville's back. We definitely needed it on TV. And have a good one, guys, and peace out.